much for joining me today. I'm Colleen Klimczak, organizational coach and certified professional organizer. I own Peace of Mind Professional Organizing, LLC. Since 2003, I've been helping my clients live better lives through organizing and organizational and productivity coaching. In addition to organizing and coaching, I support my clients with a weekly newsletter, a weekly accountability and productivity session through professional speaking, blogging, and podcasting. Want to finish strong with me this week? Join me for Finish Line Friday every Friday morning at 9 a.m. Central for a 2-hour productivity session. Drop me an email at colleen@peaceofmindpo.com or follow the Zoom room link on my Instagram or Facebook pages. So we are in December, and I hope your December is flowing well. I was writing 2 different podcast episodes today, and they are all about making things happen in this busy time of year. Today's topic, though, is talking to yourself. So let me set that up for you. Did you know, statistically speaking, the person you speak to most in your day is yourself? So let's say when you're in your car alone for extended periods of time, you may discover you have a tendency to talk to yourself, or maybe that's just me. For example, I recorded the content of this article on a late night solo drive home from seeing my son in a show in Indiana. I know I have a tendency to talk to myself. This is not a big mystery at all. A funny thing, early in lockdown when we were suddenly 5 people in the house all together all the time, my husband asked me about the conversations that I apparently was having out loud with myself. So do you talk to yourself? And the answer is likely yes, whether out loud or just in your head. But more importantly, what do you say? So today, I want to talk about the importance of positive self-talk. We all learn in different ways. We have ways of processing, learning, organizing. In coaching, we refer to these as processing modalities. The 4 most commonly discussed are seeing or visual learners, doing or kinesthetic learners, hearing or auditory learners, and speaking or verbal learners. And we are all a blend of all of those. Someone who learns by speaking out loud is called a verbal learner or a verbal processor. A strength of mine is to verbally process. I'm a paid professional speaker and a professional cantor, which means I get paid to sing. I enjoy podcasting and writing articles and sending out a newsletter to my community, and I've been doing that for the last 15 years. So obviously, verbal processing and communicating for me are strengths. I learn things as I hear myself say them out loud. If you aren't a verbal processor, it's possible that you don't understand what I was just talking about. But if you are a verbal processor or know one, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about when I say that. I learn things as I speak them out loud. And what we need to remember is that what we say matters and what we hear ourselves say matters. Imagine with me. I was working with a client a few weeks ago. She is such a treasure. She's just delightful. No names, of course. My client is a verbal processor, and she was talking to me because I was in the space with her, but mostly she was thinking out loud. She was verbally processing as we worked on organizing and clearing clutter in her space. She was thinking out loud. She was verbalizing what was going on in her mind, and she was doing a great job. She was asking herself really good questions. Do I need this item? How can I set this space up best for what I want to do here? And she was also open to questions from me as well to help her through the process. But she, again, was doing a great job. She knew the questions to ask herself, and we held space together for her to work through those with support if she wanted to talk things out a little more. That is one of the beauties of coaching, by the way. So awesome. So she was thinking out loud, and at one point she got frustrated with herself and started to say more negative things to herself. And then she stopped. She stopped and she realized what she was doing, and she shifted to saying beautiful, loving, and kind things to herself instead. And I was there to witness this beautiful habit. Our self-talk tends to trend negative. So I don't know about you, but too often my inner monologue can trend to, wow, Kyle, what is wrong with you? How could you let it get to this? Why on earth did you schedule all of these appointments in the same day? That looks pretty disorganized to me. What's wrong with you, right? And I think that can happen to all of us. And we can say out loud that that's not helpful. You know, as a coach, well, really, as a human being, I would never ask you those questions because, first of all, they're mean. And secondly, they're wrong. So I admired this client's awareness that the negative self-talk was happening. I admired that she knew that negative self-talk was not a good and healthy habit. And then she changed her behavior. So just like my client, when our self-talk turns negative, we need to be aware that it's happening. We need to know that we need to change, and then we need to make the change. So here's the thing. Our negative self-talk is often a product of other messages we receive. Maybe from society or social media, or maybe it was a second grade teacher or a sharp-tongued loved one as we grew up. And we can start believing it, even when we know that the messages aren't helpful and maybe even wrong. Because whether it's right or wrong, true or not true to us, the repetition in which we hear things can make us start to believe those things. Here's the good news, though. I am here to share that the opposite is also true. So my client changed her inner soundtrack to positive self-talk, and so can you, and so can I. Because having a positive mental soundtrack can change your life in a good way. So we need to shift our inner monologue, our personal narrative, our self-talk, whatever you want to call it. If we tell ourselves over and over, silently or out loud, that we are too busy or too stressed or the week is a total mess at 7 a.m. on a Monday, well, then guess what? That is what we will believe. Except, again, that's not helpful and it's also not true. So let's shift that self-talk. We need to be positive with ourselves because sometimes the world is harsh enough, right? We don't need anybody else telling us that it's a hard life or a hard day. We already know that. We don't need to say it because it just reinforces the negative. I'm not suggesting that we lie to ourselves or ignore the obvious, but we can be our own best friend, our own biggest fan and cheerleader, and set ourselves up to succeed. So every morning I say out loud my I am statements. I start my day with positive self-talk. And, some days, even when I say them out loud, I still am not feeling that positive. I say them all again. And here's what I say. This might be long, but hopefully it'll be a motivator for you. So I say, I am stronger. I am worthy, wealthy, loved, and vibrant. I am wise, beautiful, smart, and kind. I am patient, generous, successful, healthy, humble, and grateful. I am brave. I am blessed. I am a blessing. I am forgiving. I am committed to growth. I am a learner and a builder, and I am committed to being my best self. So what do you want someone to say to you? And if no one else is lining up to say it to you, say it to yourself. Be that supportive person for yourself. What could you say to yourself every day to make your day and outlook more positive? How can you be kind to yourself? So I'm suggesting this week, make your list. Make it as long or as short as you want. Check out Pinterest or Instagram, by the way, if you need inspiration. And I'm going to wrap with this. I was speaking with a coaching client a few weeks ago. She and I have been working together for about 4 months, and she's been working through some really difficult tasks over that time. And I am so proud and happy for her and her progress. But much more importantly, she is proud of herself for doing difficult things and is happy with her progress. And she said, as we were discussing her positive self-talk, that there are some things I have to say out loud, she said. Just thinking them isn't loud enough. And I loved that. Isn't that awesome? The good stuff can't be kept inside, shouldn't be kept inside. Just thinking them isn't loud enough. They need to be said out loud. So let's say that good stuff out loud. If you'd like to explore topics like this and coaching for organizing and productivity, drop me a line via email at colleen@peaceofmindpo.com or message me through any of my social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. Thanks so much, and I will talk to you next week.